Good afternoon, everybody. I've got Gigi trying to make his mind up where he wants to sit. Don't know whether you can see him or not. Please sit down, sweetie pie. He's a bit upset with me because I moved the furry cover from behind me. It was lovely and fluffy and very, very comfy, but it was a Gigi hair trap. And try as I might with hoovering it and brushing it and everything, it was becoming a chore. So I swapped it for what should have been, whoops, my bedspread. I was waiting while my bedroom got, excuse me, redecorated. And as it hasn't got redecorated yet, I've using the bedspread cover. I could always get another one, can't I? Except I'm not spending any money at the moment unless I have to. I have been spending money though, but not on yarn. Don't get excited. Well, I'm using stash out of my stash. I have got sleeves yet to sew in. They're sort of ready to sew in. I call it finished when they're ready to sew in. And I've done another of the Gulf Coast shrug pattern available on Ravelry. Not my pattern, so please, no questions about tutorials and videos and everything. Nope, not my pattern. There we go. It's finished. I was going to offer it as an alternative colour to the lady who ordered the 3 shrugs, but I realised when I started making it up that I was accidentally making it a smaller size. So that's why. It's done in Stylecraft Special, which is, everybody seems to love this. It's really nice to work with. Machine washable and quite reasonably priced. Karen Hales, Casualistic, she likes working with it. And I think Blue Cherub does as well, Blue Cherub 82 Kim. And Shan's Crafty Corner, she likes working with it. And I like working with it. So, that's finished, in inverted commas. It will get finally finished, as Sue calls it, FF. It will get finally finished eventually. What am I doing at the moment? Well, I'm in the stash room, as you know. Not in the stash room on my own, because we want to move 2 units and I really can't do them on my own. So at the moment I'm using 2 packs have now disappeared out of the stash room. 2 packs of this. It's ice yarn and it's, I don't know what it's called. It doesn't really have a name. Oh yes, Air Wool. Air Wool Dark Cream. It's 50% wool, I think. I think it's 50% wool. So it will be a hand wash one. Yes, it's got a little cross through it on the little tag thing, so it's a hand wash one. And so that's 2 packs left in the stash room. What am I making? Well, it's sort of a mixture of a vintage pattern and not a vintage pattern, if you know what I mean. Sorry folks, but you won't be able to get this pattern because I've had it donkey's years. It's actually a Bronte pattern and I don't think they even do Bronte anymore. So I'm doing that one there. I don't know if you can see it or not, that one there. But as I was getting sort of, I wanted to use the whole 2 packs up, I'm trying to do long sleeves or maybe 3/4 sleeves or whoever sleeves it finishes up as. Anyway, what I've done so far is the back and the 2 fronts. And because I'm working on, you know, trying to use everything up, I've got 2 sleeves to make, I've done the band already, yeah? So instead of putting 1 button there, I've decided to make it into a cardigan. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buttonholes. And that's the pattern stitch. Now I have to admit it's not the softest yarn in the world. I would call it rustic. You know how it is when some wools are woolly and it smells really cheap, you know, like lanolin or whatever. It will be going on Etsy, so I'm not quite sure how to describe it, but I will be washing it and soaking it, hoping to soften it a little. Yeah. I don't know where Gigi's going. What are you doing, sweetie? There you go. I think he's a little upset with me because he's not got his fluffy throw. Not that he sits on his fluffy throw, excuse me, that's not me making rude noises, by the way, it's the sofa. I don't know why he suddenly started making that noise. Doesn't usually do that when Sue's sat here. So I started the sleeves. So this is going to be a bit of a make it up as you go along, because obviously I couldn't start with the amount of chains for the sleeve because it would have been too wide. So I'm going to have to sort of gently work my way up the sleeve, doing some increasing. Now whether it'll finish up a full sleeve or whether it'll finish up a 3/4 sleeve, I don't really know. I do hope that you can see me, by the way. I seem to be pointing up in the air. Let's have a little adjustment. Now you're probably looking at my chest now. One never knows with this camera, it is not. Why is this city creaking so much? I know it's a leather or leatherette or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Anyway, I just had a surprise. I had a knock on the door and there was a delivery man standing there with an envelope without a stamp on it. And he said I was passing by, so I decided not to put it in the post. So I said, oh, thank you very much. And it was a pattern I'd ordered from eBay. It's a Sirdar pattern and it's 7222. And it's done in 2 shades and it's in double knitting. I mean, I would have preferred her not to have worn it with sleeves, but that's the way she's wearing it. And if you're wondering what I'm wearing today, it was a Kinko pattern 4494. And it's done in one of my favourites, James Seabrett cotton on. Which sadly, of all the things I've got in stash, I haven't got any of this cotton on in it. I think probably because I like it so much that the minute it arrives, I usually crochet with it. I don't usually stash it. So, oh, you'd have to excuse me creaking like crazy. I just need a sip of drink. It's not actually a drink at the moment, it's actually one of those cup of soup things. I presume you have them in all over the world. I was just feeling a bit peckish. Well, yesterday I was binge watching. I can put the YouTube videos on my TV. So I sat happily crocheting, binge watching people. But the thing is I can't put any comments, you know, via the TV. It's a bit watery, that. And I keep forgetting to go back onto my PC to the videos that I've watched and put comments on. So if you usually get comments from me and you haven't, it doesn't mean I haven't watched you. It means I've been watching you on the telly. Well, the weather in the UK has been more like October. Definitely not June. It tried before lunch to be a little bit sunny. And I'd put on it was cold on Facebook, and one of my neighbours up the road said, no, it's not. It's nice and sunny out. But as I haven't been out except to put my dustbin out, I need to go out, but I might as well do it all in one go because it's polling day tomorrow, so I've got to cast my vote. You know, otherwise Emily Pankhurst would be haunting me if I don't use my vote. And I don't talk politics on here, so you're not going to get which way I am voting. I never even used to tell my ex-husband. Well, he wasn't my ex-husband then. I never used to tell him which way I voted, and he never told me. It was kind of one of those unwritten things in our marriage that, you know, we didn't inquire into personal choices. You know, it wasn't a thing, an issue. We decided like long ago, like we weren't going to ask each other how we voted and stuff like that, and we just never did. We used to go to the polling booth together, you know, might as well, 1 car, 2 people, and then we'd go in our separate little booths, and then we'd come back out, and you know, if anybody stopped us at the door and said, "Can I ask you which way you voted?" my ex would always say, "Sorry, but that's my decision, and it's left in the ballot box." So I could never get a clue which way you voted when we got to the door. So, oh, sorry about this squeaking. How could you oil a leather sofa? Anyway, I wasn't going to do a video today, but this arrived. I pre-ordered it ages ago from Amazon. It's called Colourful Crochet by Marianne Deckers-Roos. Nobody can see it or not if I hold it up. That's if I hold it up, I don't go like that. I've got very shaky hands. So, as I say, I pre-ordered it ages ago, and in fact it arrived this morning. It's all about colourful things, you know. It says before you begin. It's just a picture of a load of flowers, you know. I haven't read it, as you probably noticed. I just flick through pages when they first arrive, and then I read them at my leisure. It says projects. Circle bags and wall hangings. I think that's really pretty. Bags always reminds me of Rosita. She's called Cedie Aki on Facebook. Cedie, I think. I think Aki is Aqui. You'll find her anyway. She always makes some lovely bags. So that's showing it's got a lining in. I have made bags in the past, but my sewing machine is like inaccessible at the moment. And those are my kind of colours, aren't they? Beautiful colours. I've actually ordered a couple of embroidery rings, you know, in order to make something like that, a wall hanging for myself. Well, you can see it now because I folded the page over. I have to fold the page over because the other side's got the diagram on it. This one is a boho cushion. Ooh, so easy. This bit's alright, but it's getting in the way. Fold over bit. Boho cushion. I'm not showing anything, so I can show you that page as well. Well, it didn't take my little Gigi long to start snoring, did it? And this one I like, but it's done in triangles, but it does say you can sew them together, so that's me, because I can't do all this linking together stuff. I get confused, very easily confused. It's done in triangles. That's the actual picture of the front. And there is a picture of the back of it somewhere. Oh, it's a bit difficult for me to show you a picture of the back without showing you too much information, but try looking at that. It's just got the pattern across the back, and then it's just plain at the top. Trebles to me, double crochets to you. That's one that Sue will like. I like it as well. And it also shows it done in multicolours, which is very, very pretty. Not sure I'd like it for myself, but it's nice for a child, isn't it, in bright colours. And then next up we've got the cobblestone blanket. Excuse me laughing at Gigi. And it's got, I don't know whether it's a yellow or a lime green edge, and it's a bit difficult to see. And then we've got the corner to corner cushion. Cushion? Cushions are things you get at McDonald's, isn't it? Where you get ice cream and bits of chocolate and stuff in it. I think they call them crushums or crushies or something. That one's the Dolly Dotty cushion. There's certainly a lot of ideas in here if you like granny squares or you want to use up lots of ornaments, yeah? This is flowers in a field. A shawl, a cushion and a flower garland. I'm not as keen on this because it's got too many lacy holes in it for me. You know what I'm like? I get hung up on every doorknob that I pass by. My body is just like gravitates towards a hook or a doorknob or anything like that. And that's geometric triangle blanket. You can either do it in colours or you can do it in just 2 colours, black and white, or whatever colours you choose, of course. And this one is a granny square blanket, although they're actually showing it on the floor. Probably just for effect, isn't it? I don't think it's meant to be a floor rug. I've always been afraid of making rugs in case I trip over them, because you know what I'm like. I can trip over an eyelash. I nearly went to Cropper last night because I tripped over, I don't know what it was I tripped over, but fortunately my house is cluttered. I have got tables and chairs in places where people wouldn't put a table and a chair, but the table saved me from falling, so that was good. Granny square cardigan. Little bit too many colours in that for me, but that's showing a close-up of it. After doing the last one, and that's showing the back view. The book nearly went on the floor and nearly took me suit with it. That's the back view. For those of you who want to know, it's minestrone soup. But as you know, with anything to do with like packet soups, they tend to be a bit powdery. I'm not fond of them, it's just I was a bit peckish. And I didn't really want to spoil my dinner by eating anything. Colourful cushion roll Lanise. I am trying my hardest to eat sensibly. But it's so strange, you know, I told you I lost 10 pounds. And so I thought, this is an incentive. Eat more healthily. So I've been eating really healthily, watching what I've been eating, and I've put 3 pounds on. I'm quite puzzled about that. Still, I haven't put the whole 10 pounds back, but I've put 3 of them back on. That's the hexagon blanket called Inez. What else have we got? That's the hexagon shawl called Ursula. I used to go to school with a girl called Ursula. Her mother was from Finland, I think. Yeah, I think she was Finnish. I think I mentioned her before, she was a fantastic knitter, her mother. And she never turned her work. She used to go across the row and then she used to go backwards without swinging the whole thing around. It fascinated me. And no, it wasn't on circular needles, it was done on straight needles. She used to knit on straight needles. But she used to do, you know, even ribbon and everything. She could do it backwards, left ways and right ways, you know. Fascinated me. Hybrid, isn't it? Blanket and cushion called Lottie. My window is creaking because it's windy. I still haven't got used to creaking windows. They never used to creak when they were wooden. Merry-go-round granny square cushion. Yeah, these PVC windows, they creak when they get hot and they creak when they get windy. Strange. When you're living on your own, it's a bit, what's going on? Puff shawl called Meshalina. I thought it was a shrug at first, but it's not. It's a shawl. Puff scarf and stroller blanket. I think it only shows the scarf. I suppose the stroller blanket is fairly self-explanatory, and it's just a rectangle. Ribbed tartan cushion. Sorry, somebody passing by. I often wonder, do they think I'm talking to myself? Do they think I'm some weirdo that's holding things up? Floral lace throw called Helene, not Helen, Helene. You know, you wonder, don't you, what people must think? Why is she doing this? I'm glad the bloke that delivered the pattern came before I started. This is striped baby blanket called Ingrid. Now, I absolutely love those colours. They are not colours that I would have thought of for a baby, but I really do like. Like a jacket made like that. Like those colours in a jacket. That's another picture of it. Why can I not bend the pattern book? Isn't that gorgeous, the colours? Setting my spidey senses off. I went in the craft room the other day and I thought, I know what I want to do. I want to do this, this, this and this in these colours. And I'm looking around the craft room and I'm thinking, I don't believe this. Every colour I had in my mind, I couldn't find in the stash room. And I'm thinking, oh, just don't go in there with ideas in your head. Go in there and let the yarn speak to you, because otherwise it's just not going to work, is it? Because I'm determined. I'm not on a yarn ban like Kelly, you know, I'm yarn inspired. She set herself a target by so many metres or something, or so many grams or whatever before she can buy any more. Haven't done that, but I'm on a yarn ban. Gotta use a lot of it up. Right, this one is the striped buffet collar Otto. And for those of you who are looking at my craft room and thinking it's obscene, it's this, it's that, it's the other, you've got to remember that that is my work, if you know what I mean, my business, my well, potential business. It's not exactly took off as much as I would like it to, but that's by the by. It's not a personal stash. It's not meant for me to use for me, which a lot of your stashes are, yeah. Yes, it is a lot, but it's like my yarn shop. Because I can't get out and because I don't have a yarn shop anywhere locally that I can just pop into and just buy 2 or 3 balls. I can't do that. I haven't got one. I believe there's another new shop opened up in Manchester somewhere in the northern quarter, but it's one of those lovely hand-dyed shop places which are beautiful and gorgeous, and I've got nothing against them. I can't afford them. I can't afford them. If I could afford them, I couldn't sell anything I made with them. You know, you can't say to somebody, well, the actual yarns cost me £50 or £60, yeah? And then I have to add my time on and things like that. So therefore I'm going to have to charge you like a, by the time I've done my buttons and me, what Etsy charges to list it, what they charge me when they sell it, what PayPal charges me. You know, you're thinking, you've got to be charging £80 to £100 for something like that. And, you know, people would think, what? Because on a picture you can't tell whether I've used acrylic or whether I've used purist cashmere. So they're not going to look at a picture and say, oh yes, I can tell that that's cashmere. Because like me, who's ordering the yarn online, when they're ordering a sweater or something online, they can't feel it. You know, I mean, this one's 50% wool that I'm making in the cream. But it isn't the softest of yarn, it's just wool. I mean, we've all been spoiled, haven't we, with, you know, these super washy, super soft wools and things like that. That is wool. I won't say it's scratchy, but it's not super soft, it's wool. And I think we've all got out the habit of how wool feels. You know, we buy things, we say, oh, that's a bit scratchy, or that's a bit rough. It's wool, yeah. It's not been treated, it's not been super softed or anything like that. It's wool. So you've got to bear that in mind sometimes, which I sometimes forget when I'm ordering online, that sometimes wool isn't as soft as you want it to be when it arrives. So, but I can't afford to just leave it sitting in my stash room doing nothing. And as you know, I'm not in the blanket making. It just doesn't fill me with any ideas. Anyway, that's the sunshine blanket called Quinn. As you can tell, we're getting near the very end of this book. And I think we are at the end of this book because it's talking about crochet basic techniques, and that's another picture of the Quinn. Anyway, if you want to order this, I got it from Amazon. You may be able to find it a little cheaper somewhere else. I don't have that luxury of being able to go shopping. It's called More Than 20 New Crochet Projects, Colourful Crochet by Marianne Deckers-Roos. R-O-O-S. There it is. There's quite a few, you know, nice ideas in there, nice things. So, don't know whether you can hear. I have been tormented by a fly. It's a stalker. It's why do they find a way in through open doors and open windows? Because it wasn't cold 2-3 days ago. It was nice. They find a way in, but even though the door is wide open and the windows are wide open, they can never find the way out. And this fly, it's not a big fly, but it's, in fact, my friend said to me, I think you've got a bug on your hair. We were talking on the Google. I think you've got a bug on your hair, and it was walking up my hair. It seems to want to sit on me, preferably my hair, or walk up my arm, you know, and I'm thinking, oh. And I don't know where the fly spray is, and I don't like the noise they make when they start zipping about like something, because I mean the wings are being burned, aren't they, let's face it. I know it sounds a bit cruel to zap them with a fly spray, but they do get on your nerves, don't they? I need one of those electric, like a tennis bat that goes bzz, bzz. Would that be more humane than spraying it and letting its wings burn up? I think probably it would be, because they get zapped, wouldn't they, and then they'd be gone. Yeah. Well, Manchester put all its hearts out, its crochet, sewn, ceramic, whatever hearts they got sent. They got sent thousands upon thousands of them. And, you know, with the consent of the police and everything like that, they did put them out everywhere into Manchester with a little tag saying, please take one, yeah. They didn't intend them to stay there. If somebody wants a heart from Manchester, then apparently they could take one. And it was absolutely drenching down in rain. And there's a couple of videos on my Facebook that shows them they were dripping, absolutely dripping wet through. I mean, you know, they could have picked a better day to put the hearts on, but they decided they would do it on the Monday, and they alerted the police that they would be there putting these out. Because otherwise it could be construed as littering, couldn't it, you know, or putting up posters without permission. So they did get the permission of the police. It's always a good idea if you're going to start, you know, trimming up lampposts and things, you know, with your crochet and that, to inform people that you're going to be doing it. Anyway, now London is, obviously they've had all this happening at the weekend, which is horrendous, again, as usual. I don't know what is in their heads. I really do not know. The only thing that annoyed me is, I'm not political, as you know, but Mr. Trump misquoted the Mayor of London. He said, Mr. Trump said, the people of London should not be alarmed. Quoted out of context. The Mayor of London said, not to be alarmed about the additional police that are patrolling because it's for your safety. I don't mind people saying things, but please get it right. Please don't quote people out of context. I know it happens all the time in the papers and everywhere. They do quote people out of context, don't they? But just thought I'd set the record for you. If you're believing that our Mayor of London said that, he didn't. He didn't say not to be alarmed. What can you do when people misquote you? I don't know. Do you? I know it happens all the time. I mean, I'm always reading in the papers where there's a headline saying such a thing, and then the person concerned saying, I did say that, but not in that way. I said it in the middle of a sentence, but they don't do that, do they? They want sensationalism. They want something with a headline that's going to sell a newspaper, or something with a headline that's going to grab you on the TV. You know, it is misquoting in a way. If you're going to quote somebody, at least get it right. That's my only little rant for the day. I'm not ranting about politics, I'm just ranting about people being misquoted. Just in case you think that I'm on one side or the other, because I'm not. So I don't want all the Trump followers to be jumping on my neck and down my throat and everything. I'm just saying I wished he'd have got his facts right before he said anything. I mean, maybe he was told it misquoted, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, I don't know what the rest of you are doing. I was going to go out to the chemist and get my prescription and that, but I've got to go out tomorrow, so I'm a homebody. I really do not like going out and about. I don't mind when the weather's nice, but I don't like having to go out on my scooter with a big coat on and people think I'm a bit, you know, stupid or something. But when I'm on that scooter and I'm going along, the wind blows straight in my face and it's chilly. Yes, I could go slower, but I'm only going at 6 miles an hour when I'm going full belt, you know, so it's not exactly racing, is it, boy racer? And I still haven't pimped up the scooter yet. It did finish up being called Ruby, by the way. I suddenly remembered I'd never told you. I did toy with scarlet, but the actual colour of the scooter is not so much scarlet as more of a ruby red. So she's a ruby. But she still hasn't been pimped up. I was going to put either some granny squares on her basket or some flowers on her basket or something like that. I don't like putting stickers on it because, you know, like go faster stripes and stuff. Because it's not my scooter, is it really? It's just a rental. So I don't want to put anything on it that's going to get be on forever. The only thing I would like is a hook of some description. I've got to find some way. When I go in the supermarket and I balance my supermarket basket, we do have trolleys, of course, here, you know, carts or whatever you want to call them, but we also have baskets for people who just go in and want 2 or 3 things. So I put one basket down in the footwell and I put one basket, balance it on top of my little basket. Now my other scooter had a little hook thing, and I used to balance it in between the rails of my little supermarket basket. This one doesn't. So I've either got to ride around with one hand firmly gripping the basket, or every time I turn the corner the basket falls off on the floor. Which is not ideal, is it? Especially if you've got things like yoghurt in, you know, and it all squashes all over the floor. So I've got to think of some way. You can't go around with, like, my son's favourite, those grip tie things, you know, he puts on everything. You know, the ones where you slide in and they lock. Otherwise I have to bring the basket home with me, wouldn't I, because it'd be locked on. Now I'm going to have to find some kind of grips or something, or take clothes pegs or something with me, you know, to try and secure the basket to the front of my little basket. Because my little basket is so little it doesn't hold anything. I could have had a basket put on the back, but what's use that? What am I supposed to do? Throw things over my shoulder? Put them in the basket? No. So I declined, yes. Anyway, I think that's about it. I think Kelly's coming on Friday. Well, I hope she is. Because then she can help me to put the, rearrange the shelving. Because we brought 2 shelves, I think I told you, from out of the garage. Well, Sue did. Brought them out of the garage and we put them upstairs. So we'd have a bit more room. And Kelly's got the idea of putting some like cardboard sides. Excuse me, my voice is going again. on one of the shelving units so that, you know, the oddballs and that from, I've got my red heart that's not in packages, and I'm not putting them in packages because they're one or the two balls. So I can put them on the shelf without them falling off the sides, because my bookcases, things, whatever, don't have any sides in. This was why I wanted the original wooden ones, why I wanted cubes. But as my son is still working all the hours that God sends, that it's not going to happen. And to be quite honest, the money that I'd put aside for the shelving has kind of got spent on other things, for the house, other things. So this break will give me time to reassess my finances and be a bit more frugal and stop buying things like indigo moon jackets, dresses, crochet books. All got to stop, and it has, more or less, except for can't resist patterns, and I can't resist, well, that was actually ordered, pre-ordered before I decided on my ban. Yeah, but as you can see, I'm still ordering patterns. And I still have another one to come, I think. Yes, I mean, I was really torn. I was looking at wind chimes. They had a beautiful wind chime, and it was all the colours of, it's like glass or imitation glass, whatever you want to call it, and it's like a butterfly done in all the colours of the rainbow with these chime things hanging on the bottom. Well, one of them had chimes hanging on the bottom, the other one's just got beads. The other one is classed as like a sun catcher. You're supposed to hang it in your window. And I thought, oh, that would look lovely in my craft room window when it's all finished. And then I'm thinking, no, don't spend any more money. But it's really nice, really nice. But no, got to earn a bit more before I can spend a bit more. So that's why I'm busy. I've got a couple of orders in the pipeline, which I need to get around to. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to, if I concentrate on just doing orders, it means that nothing new goes on my Etsy. And in order to make your Etsy successful, you've got to put new things on it, at least every month. You can't put them on every week. And like rotate the things that you've got for sale. Otherwise people just get bored looking at the same old thing when they open the page. So this is why I'm trying to do like a couple of things for Etsy and then make orders, and then a couple more things for Etsy and then make orders. So that's what I'm hoping to do. So I know where the cushions are now to put the, I've got more cushion covers that I bought ages ago. And I actually bought a new, like a wall hanging thing, but it's now finished up. Oh, I don't know whether you can see, excuse me, making you dizzy. It's now finished up on my chair, because I decided it wouldn't be a wall hanging, because I've got two fabulous wall hangings that Grace, thank you Grace, Grace sent me, and they are for on the craft room walls. Well, it won't be exactly on the walls, they'd be on the front of the shelves. So it's kind of like on the walls, isn't it, to make a nice view for me. It's getting there. Hopefully in a couple of months it will all be done. I've got patterns to sort out yet. I've got the wardrobe to get moved. I mean, Sue was looking at it and I was saying, no Sue, we can't possibly move that wardrobe, even when it's empty. I think it's going to be too big of a job. But Sue, never be to be faint-hearted, said, oh, I think if it was empty, I think we might be able to manage it. So if you hear of Sue and Jan falling down the stairs with a wardrobe, you know what happened. So I'm not keen moving it. And I daren't ask my son to move it because he thinks I'm getting rid of it. And I'm not. It was my 21st birthday present and it's still staying with me. So for 50-year-old wardrobe, it's doing good. It came with me from my house when I got married. When we got fitted wardrobes, it then went into my son's room to be my son's wardrobe. It became my son's wardrobe again when he moved back in again. And then when he's visited, ever since, it's been his wardrobe. So it's got history. And it is a good wardrobe. It's not like these modern ones that fall to pieces when you breathe on them, you know. I mean, it's sad to say my IKEA units in the kitchen are kind of falling to pieces. So I'm hoping that when my son moves them for me, he'll be able to sort of screw them together again. I think they're only meant for temporary or occasional usage. I don't think they're meant to be. I mean, they've got books on and they've broken. And somebody said, well, you've put too many books on them. I said, they're sold as bookcases. So is there a limit? Well, there may be a bookcase, but you can only put so many books on it. I don't think so. You buy them as a bookcase, and they should be a bookcase, shouldn't they? That's my argument anyway. I'm sticking to it. Anyway, the wind has died down, but the sun has actually gone in. Gigi is snoring. There he is before we go. I don't know whether you can see him or not. He's snoring away there. So, I'm not doing bad for saying I wasn't going to make a video till Kelly came, am I? Anyway, you have the rest of a nice day. I'm going to upload this and see what happens when it gets uploaded. I did muck the ending up of the last, I did say muck by the way, muck the ending up of the last video we made upstairs because I must have pressed the wrong button and we cut off long before we should have done. And we carried on filming and we were saying our bye-byes and everything, and when I come to upload it, it hadn't filmed. So I must have pressed a button and stopped it. It's the way I roll, folks. Stupid. And cheers with my soup. Cheers to you. Have a nice evening, day, morning, whatever. And I will see you on Friday, hopefully, when Kelly comes to visit. So, bye you all.